So this is a type of student
Should have gone to Annapolis.
my teacher. She's also sucking. No. That was James Jones' mom. Always. 19? Oh.
Yep. Sorry, we live. TBH 411. Yep.
All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the City of Greenville Heights City Council study session. This one is most specifically to place a council vacancy for a former councilman, Ray Muscat, who did a great job on the council, but unfortunately because of health reasons, had to resign. And this will take over his term through the rest of the year, all the way to December 31st. And what we're going to do at this particular point, we're going to be interviewing different candidates that have applied for this particular vacancy, city council vacancy. They will finish out the term, and then after that will be dependent on whatever comes up in the elections in the general election. The next council body will take over. What we're going to do, we had a lot of discussions about this with the clerk, myself, and council members. We're going to allow each candidate 5 minutes to go up and speak, and I know all of you guys sent us different emails and information about yourselves, resumes, etc. We've all read them. You have an opportunity up to 5 minutes to speak to the council members. Just tell us whatever it is that you want to tell us, your positives, challenges, why you want to do this, etc. From there, I'm going to allow at the end council members ask just a couple of questions to each candidate. I want council members to keep that within the limits. I didn't put any specific limit as how many questions can be asked to each particular candidate. It is not going to be 2 weeks in the past where it'll be the same questions to each candidate. So we're going to make it to where every council member can ask whatever question they particularly want to whatever candidate, and then from there, obviously, the next council meeting we will be voting as to who that particular candidate will be. So. Our clerk has helped out, like she always does, and helped put this together. This is no way. So we've got the names to all the different candidate members. I'm gonna have Dave Run. Come on up. Omar. That's it. Let's make sure we have the right order first. Okay. So we're going to have, please, you know, write down the names, please. As far as who's first, who's around, and let me just mix them up. And we're going to have it in this order because sometimes you don't know alphabetical, different people like it or don't like it, so we'll be totally ready. So turn around to the right. All right, go ahead. So the first candidate is, there we go. The first candidate will be Sue Kaminsky. Okay. Yeah. I didn't say I was good. I didn't say I was good at this. Rachel LaPointe. Cindy Lil Thanks about that. Right. The third person, I know, we have Sam Bazzi. And the next person. Sam Fazzola. Lola, no scripts, right? W is huge. And the next person. Roxana Martin. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, where's the tin can raffle at?
Next one. I was gonna borrow that thing from the lotto, but they wouldn't let me borrow it. Ahmed Al-Kabi. Okay, next one. Will be Bilal Mood. All right. Next one. Hassan Saad. Next one. Lise Varanowski Maxwell. Next one. You didn't take picture when it's alphabetical order, by the way. Huh? The name's almost in alphabetical order.
Nope.
Zuhair Abdulhaq.
He did, he's left. Where the party? Why is it?
Vivian, and the last one, I'll make this one. Margaret King. So, give these to the clerk's office, just in case we're feeling events or something else. Thank you so much for again. We are only for the last city council meeting. Alright, so who was first again? You'll have 5 minutes. You know, with the council members that are here, love to do it then. You guys want to do questions in the beginning or at the end? Yeah, they might answer the question, you might answer our questions, yeah. Wait, we gotta keep time. Yeah. But maybe, yeah, please. But you have some actions. I got it. Actions to the, okay. Well, 5 minutes and 5 seconds. 5 seconds to state your name and your address. Speaking of listening to it takes water, right? Absolutely. 3, 2, 1, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Hi, my name is Sue Linsky on Amboy Street, Dearborn Heights. I am currently a candidate to fill the position that Ray Muscat held. And first and foremost, I want to wish Ray well and hope that he gets through his health problems. And secondly, I want to thank you for this opportunity. I'm really excited at the fact that we have as many candidates as we do. In years past, I know we get this kind of turnout, so this is really a good thing and shows how much passion that the citizens of Dearborn Heights have. So this is great. I've lived in the city since 1977. and have been before this body since 1977. I've been very active in city and school politics. I've been a school board member elected twice to Prescott School District, and raised by parents who taught me that you need to give back to your community. And both of my parents were very active. I was raised in Inkster, and they were very active with the community. So I learned at a young age, 5 years old, passing out literature, that it's just something that you should do. It's your responsibility. And frankly, it's something that I believe very strongly in. I have been married 40 years. I have 2 adult children, Elizabeth, who's 37, Michael, who's 34, both went to Crestwood, and both are doing really well, so that's a good thing. I've worked in a lot of different positions, all medically related, and was an office manager, a going manager, and then worked as a implementation consultant, traveling all over for 10 plus years, which is why I had a little gap. And when you probably saw me at meetings, I was out of state every week and did training for implementation for computer software in the medical field. So I'm used to talking publicly, and I'm really passionate about our city and its future and where we're going with the city. You've heard me before here. 2 main things that I think the city needs to pay attention to is flooding on the south side. Something that's been going on since I first started coming up here. And then get our police force where it needs to get to be. They do a great job. And I'm probably one of the biggest advocates for our police. Haven't had to advocate for fire because they seem just to always be on the mark as our rescue people. And I've only had to use rescue once, and it was for my mom, and they were so nice and so caring. So we do a good job here. I feel very strongly that the city has to look towards our future. And I know people are resistant to change, and it's hard to implement change. It's hard to get the phone calls when you try to do your job to implement change. The change isn't always a bad thing. It can be good, fresh ideas. And I think it's really important that we work together as a community for that. I've been very active with the city, so I know the issues. I stay very active. I know most of you fairly well on a personal basis, as well as professional. And just want to continue doing what I think is best, which is to advocate for the citizens of Dearborn Heights. That's it.
Thank you. So what I'm going to do, for those in the audience that are here for the interviews, during the question and answer session, by the council members, let's try to limit it to 1 or 2 questions. 3 if we absolutely had to. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it in reversal. At the end of all the candidates, I'll do it in reversal. Each candidate will go up. Some of the council members will have to ask 1 or 2, maybe 3 maximum questions. For those answering questions, I'm not going to put a timer on you, but let's try to keep it to about a minute or 2. I don't want to make it where you have to be done in 2 minutes, put the pressure on you because these are questions that you haven't been prepared for. So just keep it as short as you can, and if not, then I'll have to give you the 30-second thing. But on the questions, we're going to go in reversal. So whoever was last, they'll be first to go up for questions from the council members. Let's do that. We'll reverse it.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Next candidate. Rachel.
Okay. Since you're ready now.
3, 2, 1, go for it.
Hello. Thank you, Council Chair Abdallah, Council, everybody. I'm Rachel Point from Barrack Street, as we usually say when we get up to this podium. It's an honor to be here, to have an opportunity to speak a little bit longer than we usually do, and to be considered for the BPCI Council. I've spent countless hours over the last month since Ray turned in his resignation, considering what to say to all. how to convince you to vote for me. But my inspiration for what I decided to present today boiled down to two things. First is that today we found out that my daughter Evelyn was elected by her class to represent them on the student council. The pride and love that I feel for her bravery in giving a speech, for her willingness to attend meetings and to sell scented pencils. All of that love that I hold in my heart, that's why I'm here. I want to be like Maya. The second inspiration was a quote from Representative Katie Porter's autobiography that I read this morning. As she was discussing the work of Congress, she said, quote, as I see it, the real work of Congress is civic education. Democracy only functions if voters know what's going on in their government and elected representatives know what's going on in their communities. As a Congress member, that means teaching and learning respectively. I agree wholeheartedly with her and believe that this dual role as teacher and student is the real work of city councils around our nation. The person that you all choose to appoint will have 3 short months to serve our community. Your responsibility and duty is to choose someone who can jump in and fulfill the duties of council person. I know that I am the best candidate here, who can jump in and be the teacher and student our city needs. To show you how I know this, I would like to briefly outline the history and progress of one of our current city projects. On October 14th of last year, we lost Joey Smith in a tragic accident. In the 2 months that followed his death, his mother Katie, family, and friends collected 4,100 signatures, which I printed out, to support Joey's loss. They attended many meetings since then, as well as study sessions. After reviewing all those meetings over the past couple weeks and the public comments, I was one of the requests that they made to these. Better lighting in our neighborhoods for visibility, and for the city to find solutions to slow down drivers, whether through enforcement, speed bumps, or another solution. Katie and her family and friends also asked to be included in our departmental meetings so that they could be part of this process. As I researched the topic, I came across a multitude of resources from the federal government, MDOT, private companies, and many more. One of these resources, the Michigan City Parks to School Handbook, outlines all the planning steps to form a team and to solve these very common issues. At the end of the study session in November, the consensus from council was to direct the administration to utilize our existing membership with TIA, Transportation Improvement Association, to complete studies of our neighborhoods and schools and to provide council with a report and recommendations. Recently, we've received some updates. The administration did not present the requested report or recommendations. However, a proposal from Lake Trim was presented and approved at the last council meeting that outlines a 3-phase process. Phase 1 can now begin since we sent the approval, and it's set to be completed by May of 2024 and will cost the city $65,000. Phase 1 includes 3 tasks: data collection, pedestrian crossing evaluations, and the crossing treatment recommendations. Phase 2 will include preparing the design plans, assisting with finding grants, and the rest of that section. While the details of Phase 3 are not in that document, my assumption is that that's the actual construction. Dates are not given for the remaining phases, but an optimistic estimate would put a project completion in May 2025, 2.5 years after Joey's passing. I hope that that's helpful to the residents to kind of know where we're at with that project. As you can all see from my power of reading material, I take my personal education and research seriously. If appointed, this is the level of seriousness that I would bring to every topic, even if the backup for a meeting is 500 pages long. I also recognize the limits to research and the need to question and rely on experts. But the duty of a council person is not just to research and tell residents what we're doing. I deeply believe that we must listen and learn from those in our community who are passionate and ready to work with us to make our city's future shine brightly. So as you consider this, okay. All right. As you consider a good point, I just ask you to think of this. Who's the best candidate that will learn about what they need to learn about and who will help residents understand it best? Thank you.
Next up.
So Hassan Page, one of the candidates, is not here. He's on Zoom. I'm not sure. Hassan Page, if you're on Zoom, please raise your hand. Okay, next up. Hassan, roll, please. Good evening. Good evening, Council member. When you're ready, forgive me if I'm a little slow, go ahead. Okay, we're gonna give you an extra 3 seconds, go for it. Just kidding, guys. Still rich, I'm kidding. Go ahead. I meant to forgive me if I'm a little slow, I've been traveling since 4 a.m. It's a medical procedure for my wife, due to long needs, and I have to leave it, but she's doing okay, so, thank you. Honorable Council member, my name is Rasan Abdullah. I've been working in this great city for over 5 years. I served this community for many years on the planning commission. I'm a real estate professional with finance and economic background. I specialize in economic development. Recently, I ran for the primary election for the city. Honesty, integrity, and devotion to public service with a vision for change to bring our people together and bring peace to our city power, thereby positively impacting and enhancing life for all. I believe the most honorable accomplishment in life is to have the chance to serve the public in the most honest way possible. Although the results of the primary election were not favorable, I consider myself lucky to have won the trust of a abundant number of such amazing people. With that being said, the road ahead is wide open as the seeds for positive change have been planted. As I appreciate and thank Councilman Muscat for his long years of devotion to public service. Also, I believe it's my personal opinion, it's almost unethical to tell anyone that's currently still running for election because it might influence that election outcome. That's what I believe. Is I do not intend to run for election coming up. I kindly ask you to honor me with the appointment of the vacancy of Mr. Muscat for the remainder of this term. Thank you, sir. Okay, ready? I'm ready when you're ready. 3, 2, 1, take off.
All right, good evening, City Council members. My name is Roxanna Martin, and I've been a lifelong Dearborn Heights resident. I stand before you this evening to express my interest in the Open City Council chair. A little bit about myself. I hold a bachelor's degree in science. I'm the administrator of a medical ophthalmology practice. I sit on the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Committee board. I also sit on other boards in regards to ophthalmology, ASCRS, ASOA. I know that nobody knows what those are, but that's okay. Big fancy titles for a bunch of work and little reward. So I'm a single mother of one son who also resides in Dearborn Heights. He is now a homeowner. Yay. So some of my hobbies, I like to do competitive curling, so I travel around doing curling, and I enjoy classic car shows with my dad. So it's something that's passion of ours. As far as community service, I try to be out in the community as much as possible. I do attend all of the senior events in Dearborn Heights. I also do a lot of public speaking. I am on the Polo Health Public Speakers Board. So anytime they need somebody to go out and talk about eye health and things like that, I'm there. And I also do a lot of volunteer work with citizens. I donate my time at several community retirement centers. I go in and do presentations. We do ophthalmology Jeopardy. We do all kinds of good stuff. Although I've never held any city political role, I believe that my past background will show you that I would be an excellent choice. I'm hardworking. I'm driven. I'm an individual that's not afraid to face a challenge. I'm passionate not only about my work, but I'm passionate about the city that I live in. Again, I've been here all my life. It's changing, and I'm looking forward to the changes in the future. I describe myself as an open and honest person. I don't believe in misleading other people. I pride myself on being a constant learner. I'm always proactive about seeking new opportunities to develop and grow in my role. These opportunities could be in the form of training, medical conferences, just listening to somebody speak as I'm learning about other people here, or taking on a new project. I'm confident. I'm a confident individual. I'm mature, I'm candid, and I'm a transparent individual who values integrity. My confidence in myself is the reason that other people tend to come to me for advice, even if I'm not in a leadership role. I may not always have the answers, but trust me, I'm going to research and I'm going to point you in the right direction. I have the keen ability to listen to others. It's important to me that the citizens are given time to be heard. I truly believe it's all about listening to what they have to say. If we can't listen, we can't formulate a fair, proper plan. As a recap, I'm an accomplished leader with great communication and analytical skills. I bring a strong work ethic. I'm dependable, reliable, and I have a great personality. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me tonight. I truly look forward to the opportunity to possibly work with each of you individually and as a group. I look forward to being able to enhance the great work that the current City Council Board is doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
There we go. Hard to follow.
Ready?
Yes.
3, 2, I'm going to give you extra 2 seconds. Go for it.
Sounds good. Council members, fellow residents here and at home, thank you for allowing me to address you tonight. My name is Ahmed Kabi, and it is an honor to stand before you seeking the support today. First and foremost, I would like to express my deep gratitude for Councilman Ray Muscat for his years of service to Dearborn Heights. His loud, passionate approach has left an indelible mark, and we owe him a debt of gratitude for his unwavering commitment. For the past 15 years, my family and I have called Dearborn Heights home. We sought refuge from the turmoil of war and persecution in Iraq, and were able to call Dearborn Heights our home. It was here, in this welcoming community, that we were able to find safety, opportunity, and a place to plant our roots. I attended middle school and high school here, founded a nonprofit organization to help underprivileged students receive scholarships, worked with many different organizations, coached my high school soccer team, and was able to seek a bachelor's degree from the University of Michigan Dearborn in political science and sociology. With over a decade of organizing and legislative experience, my journey has been defined by deep commitment, service, and advocacy, which I have dedicated the last decade of my life to understanding the intricacies of government and legislative processes, equipping me with a wealth of knowledge and a skill set that I am eager to bring to our city. My journey here has taken me into the world of government, where I had the privilege to work on both the state and federal level. In the hallowed halls of our state capitol and in the esteemed office of Congresswoman Debbie Dingell, I witnessed firsthand the power of policymaking, the importance of representation, and the impact that government can have on people's lives. The unique blend of grassroots organizing and legislative experience positioned me to be an effective advocate for Dearborn Heights. I understand the intricacies of policy, the importance of collaboration, and the need for innovative solutions to address the challenges facing our city. My years of experience have honed my ability to bridge the gap between government and the people that I serve, and I am eager to leverage this experience to propel our city forward. Over the years, I have built an extensive network of relationships with elected officials and stakeholders across our city. These relationships will be instrumental in our effort to address the challenges and potential opportunities facing our city.
whether it's collaborating with local municipalities on regarding the E-Force Creek, whether securing funding for critical infrastructure projects or advocating for policy changes that benefit our community, the breadth and depth of my network will be a powerful asset to our city. At its core, public service is about working together. And these relationships will enable me to bring a diverse set of voices and expertise to the table. You know, I'm not here to claim that I have all the answers or have the key to the success of our city, but instead I offer myself as a dedicated collaborator, an independent voice, and as someone who's willing to work closely with both administration and council to address the pressing issues facing our city. Now more than ever, we need leaders who can bridge the divides, foster unity, and channel the collective energies of our community towards positive change. Since the beginning of my campaign, we've knocked over 5,000 doors across our city and launched a survey to identify the key issues facing our community. It is clear, as Dearborn Heights celebrates its 60th anniversary, we still are faced with challenges that require bold and innovative solutions. On day one, I'm ready to roll up my sleeves and work tirelessly to push our city forward. Once again, thank you for this opportunity, and I look forward to working with each and every one. Thank you.
Good job, Ahmed. Next up. Joe Rubin. Hello. This is Zero. 3, 2, 1, take off. Hello, everyone. Council members, residents of the city. My name is Bilal Kabour, Howard Drive, and I stand before you as a proud lifelong resident of Dearborn Heights, deeply committed to our city's future. Starting off, I want to share that I'm here because I believe in the power of public service. I believe that through collaboration, we can meet the needs of Dearborn Heights and make it an even better place to live, work, and raise our families. I'm here because I believe in our community. I know that Dearborn Heights is the best place to live because I've lived here my whole life. I've had the privilege of witnessing the strength and resilience of our residents, but ultimately I see the potential for growth, and there is room for us to grow. In my previous work experience, I've seen that public service is critical and community involvement is necessary in order to get the work done. And so involving the residents throughout this process is going to be of the utmost importance. Now, I've worked with state government, city government, and municipalities across Michigan. And I not only want to share that network that I've built with the city, but additionally bring the best practices that I've seen implemented across our state to Dearborn Heights. In my previous work experience, I've specialized in entering spaces that are looking for innovation, that are looking for new ideas, and trying to connect spaces that are siloed. State government gets siloed, and it gets down even to the city level. So it's my goal to connect these different spaces. I believe that this role requires 3 things: time, dedication, and institutional knowledge, and the willingness to collaborate and innovate. Now, I want to say that I'm fortunate enough to work remotely, and so a majority of the work that I'm going to share that I do in the city is voluntary. I serve on the board of the Islamic House of Wisdom. I serve on the Dearborn Heights Rotary Board. I serve on the CSIS board, which treats residents that don't have insurance. I try to find ways to collaborate with different community organizations because I know that's where the power is, and that's where we can be most effective. I also have the fortune of working with the Dearborn Heights Model United Nations, a student group between all the different school districts, and helped lead them to go to Harvard last year so that they could compete, bring back awards, and get a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I ran for office last year because I wanted to serve this community in a greater capacity. It's why I continue to work on projects like the upcoming senior celebration, working on translating documents, critical documents through the fire department into multiple languages so that the city of Dearborn Heights could be more accessible in emergency services. It's why I do volunteer work with the Dearborn Heights Rotary. It's why I host community cleanup projects, and I'm always out at the different community events that are ongoing. I'm passionate about this because ultimately this role is a brief one. And there's only so much someone can offer in a 4-month period. And I'd like to bring my perspective, my experience, and my resources to the city.
So ultimately, why me? I am a lifelong public servant. I come from a background in academia, so I want to take a data-driven approach to leadership. I have a deep familiarity with the city, its ongoing projects, its leadership, and how a board functions. I have a certificate in Robert's Rules of Order, which I think is beneficial to have entering a space like this. I've served on multiple nonprofit boards and university boards, and so bringing that experience here is something I'm excited to do. It's my goal to underpromise and overdeliver, to lead with transparency and honesty, and ultimately, I believe that with such a short term, in order to be effective in this role, the onboarding process needs to be as short as possible. So coming with that knowledge of the ongoing projects and this experience, I'm hoping to shorten that as much as I can so that we can be productive and effective in this short time. I stand before you today as someone who is deeply passionate and committed for the future of our city. I want to thank you all for your time and consideration. And if there are any questions you have or any follow-ups that you might have, please feel free to reach out. You have my contact information. To close, I want to spend the next few months being productive, effective, and ultimately a resource to the residents and to the council members I hope to serve alongside. So I look forward to hearing the results, and I'm looking forward to continuing to serve this community in whatever capacity I can. Thank you for your time. Yeah, you are almost at every single event. It's a blessing and a curse.
Stop. Let me know when you're ready. 3, 2, 1. 5 minutes and 5 seconds. Extra second for everybody.
Good evening, Honorable Body, where I'm here listening to all the candidates. Speaking as a candidate, as we enter the general election, first and foremost, I want to thank Brady Muscat for his years of service and dedication. He's probably one of the most outspoken people on city council and straightforward. I wish him great luck and a great return in his work and years. My name is Hassan Saad, and I'm John David. And I'm here to express my strong interest in the appointment to serve as a member of the city council. There's a great interest that I offer my candidacy for this important work of my qualification, dedication, and vision to make the best make a suitable choice. My purpose is to continue serving the citizens of Dearborn Heights and communications between residents in our city, and how the city can grow and advance. Also, all Dearborn Heights residents deserve some of the roads safe and maintained neighborhoods and security to peacefully enjoy our homes without constant flooding and construction concerns. I really positive about the experience in the civic engagement and leadership over the past 6 years. I have made every single council meeting in numerous community organizations, including the planning commission, which now is chair. Calvin, we sit there, talk to the diverse groups of less critical social welfare issues. That there's a gap in between the city and the divide in the city. My educational background in engineering and construction gives me the analytics and decision-making skills necessary to make informed decisions for our city. My deep commitment to our community is the driving force behind my desire to serve in city council. I have lived in the city for 11 years. I have witnessed the growth, its challenges, and its incredible potential. I've actively engaged with our residents attending the city council and the association listening session, allowing me to gain first-hand knowledge, concerns, and inspiration. I'm driven by the vision of our city as a vibrant city. It's a suitable place where every resident can try from as a city council member that provides initiatives that address public safety, better police officers and fire recoveries, better infrastructure, deal with our flooding issue that so many residents have been promised for decades, and just put a band-aid on the light in the city, better and safe house for the children. Working with fellow council members and city staff with practical solutions, dedicated to transparency, accountability, and open communication, ensuring that all residents are informed and heard throughout the decision-making process. I believe I should be appointed to city council because I have the qualities and positively impact the community, the record of accomplishments of leadership, my passion for public service, and my ability to bring people together to find common ground and create improvement in the community. I'm committed to work tirelessly to represent the best interests of our residents, to contribute to the growth and prosperity of our city. As a member of City Council, I will be committed to supporting our first responders and public safety, strengthening our own improvements to city infrastructure that's deteriorated for decades, reinforcing ordinance initiatives and improve maintenance in our neighborhoods, encouraging new economic development, something we don't like to see as a manufacturer or any type of big companies working in the city. We not only support our local businesses, but the city, enhancing communication among city council members and putting the needs of our residents first. Supporting efforts to secure funding for major projects, including roads, parks, and storm infrastructure, and equal street grid. That's something that's a very hot topic on our residents. It's something that's got to be addressed. And my first goal would be to push for a grand wide progress for the city. And when we speak as the Dearborn Heights is Dearborn Heights. There's no South Bend. We represent Dearborn Heights as well. And I hope we can, I hope if I'm put on council, we can work together and move on. Thank you.
Good evening. Things are going to be on this side of the council table.
Let me know when you're ready, and we can go ahead and start this little fiesta real quick. Ready? 3, 2, 1, take off.
Good evening, Dearborn Heights City Council. My name is Denise Linsky Maxwell. As you know, I'm from Rockwood, Westwood, and I am here tonight to ask you to appoint me to make a decision for City Council led by Councilman Ray Muscat. Exactly this television is not allowed to position for City Council should not be taken lightly. As you know, my past experience, I was a councilor and council chair. A lot happens behind the scenes that the public doesn't even realize to bring the meeting in front of everybody. There's a lot of prep work done by everyone. We need to know what we do, what council attended, and make sure it follows the charter rules for your approval. The City Council cabinet contains a lot of information. Sometimes we need to make calls to make sure that it's correct. I know my resume is short, but at this point in time, I'm really glad that the nations here will come down the university to volunteer at least since I was five. Today, my experience lies solely from being on the actual scene. Choosing me as council replacement will ensure that the transition will go very smoothly. I'm very familiar with Robert's rules of order and how meetings run. And of course, you know that I'm also very familiar with the charter. When I was on city council, I read that fully, front to back, responsibility is an important part of our city. The replacement is only for 3 months, and it is only a temporary position. It would be wise to put someone in who's well versed in how the city is run. It's not fair to the residents to put an inexperienced person in the position temporarily. Unless you've been on city council, you will not understand the dynamics and how city council operates. Many of the council members had to be mentored by other city council members who brought up to speed. We've all been there. And I personally have served on different boards and commissions over the years. I also attended many city council meetings, but nothing could prepare me for how city council operates. Choosing an inexperienced person to be on the city council is an important part of the city. Also, considering the recent election, both residents made their tax prices known. The more residents were involved, they took the time and effort to fill out absentee ballots and personally show up for the polls. As I stand before you tonight, I once again ask you to support appointing me to the vacant city council position.
Thank you. Shop the back, you do not have to state your entire address.
That's the cover.
All right, you ready? Whoa. That's how it's gonna start. We're gonna void ball a couple of times, Joe. 3, 2, 1, go for it. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank everyone. Right, that makes me so happy to see more people interested, because before we used to recruit people, invite people to come and run for city council or the school board. I remember when nobody wanted to serve, but I am happy that every qualified person is here applying the job. And I'll be just very short and brief. My name is Zahra. I live in 354 Heights, 32 years resident of Gilman Heights. I serve on Housing Commission, previously. I serve on zoning board here. I got appointed by this honorable council to be treasurer for 4 months. And again, I got appointed for the city council. It's my experience of many years at the city council, the charter, ins and out of the city, that put me in a very good position to be fit and immediately for this position. And I just want to thank you guys for giving me this opportunity, and hope to be serving you very soon. Thank you.
Next up. Good evening. That's $1 million student plan. Let's do this. This is a special. 3, 2, 1, you take off. Good evening, council chair, council members, candidates for the office, and residents of the city. I was born in Niagara Falls, New York. I moved to Michigan to attend school and never left. Something about my life. I was blessed only with one child. She was 58 years old, but thank God she gave us 4 grandchildren. Ages 20, 23, 27, and 30. Thank God for small kids. And they're all in Massachusetts. Massachusetts. That's something about myself, education. I earned 2 associate's degrees from community college, 4 in science, and 1 in liberal arts. I ended up going to the University of Detroit. I earned my bachelor's degree in architecture and a master's degree in urban planning from Wayne State University. Something about my professional background. I am licensed by the state of Michigan in 3 different disciplines. I am a licensed architect. I am a licensed professional community planner and a licensed builder. This background is very useful to be on the council because cities are composed of problems, architecture, and planning. I understand them and know them well. Other things about myself, I am perhaps the only veteran here from the former United States Marine, and I was younger than that
today.
More importantly, probably not as important, but I'm a volunteer at Henryport Community College radio program for more than 10 years. I don't do music. I usually only do news shows. I am, by nature, a speaker, and doing the radio is something of very great interest to me in a lot of ways. I like interviewing politicians, and I'm more interested in history. How history affects current events. I have a program like that. I'm a former council member. I've been elected to this body twice in a special election and a 4-year term. In fact, Ray Muscat took my seat. He defeated me 8 years ago. I am the best qualified person because I know this job. I know what it does. I know what it can't do. I know what it shouldn't do. And I know I have ideas of what it could do. I don't need a training in it. I think that the most important thing is candidates for election should not be appointed by this council. It shows favoritism. They're going to run for election in 7 weeks anyway, and I'm going to vote for all the experienced ones myself. Thank you very much.
There we have, ladies and gentlemen, our very own Margaret King. 5 minutes, 7 seconds. Nobody's got that yet.
Give her 10.
Thank you all.
Margaret?
Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, kick off.
Margaret King, Baker Street, River Heights. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for giving me the opportunity to address you today as a candidate for City Council vacancy position. I am committed to making our city safer, more resilient, and more attractive place to live, work, and raise family. Today, I want to share with you my 3 stance on 3 critical issues: school safety, recurring residential flooding, and blight in our community. Number 1, ensuring the safety of our children is a top priority for me. Our school zones should be a place where parents can feel confident to leave their children that are protected. I propose implementing the following measures: enhanced crosswalk signs. We need well-marked crosswalks, clear signage, alert drivers to slow down and watch for pedestrians. Speed bumps and traffic calming measures. I support the installation of speed bumps and other traffic calming measures to reduce speeding in the school zones. Educational initiatives must be invest in our educational programs to raise awareness among both drivers, students, and the importance of the safety in school zones. I will focus on mental health support. We need to prioritize mental health support for students. I will collaborate with the school districts to ensure that students have access to counselors and resources to address their emotional well-being. Recurring residential flooding. The frequency of the residential flooding is a pressing concern. To address the issues, I propose improved drainage infrastructure. We need to upgrade our drainage system to help handle the heavy and prevent flooding in our neighborhoods. Floodplain management. I advocate for stricter regulations on development in flood-prone areas and to prevent the natural flooding plains. Community preparedness. We should provide resources and training to help residents prepare for the response flooding emergencies. I believe we should prioritize implementing this, especially while the flooding issues are being worked on to be resolved. Blight in our community. Blight not only diminishes the property values, but also erodes the sense of the pride of our community. To combat blight, I propose code enforcement strengthening code enforcement and the vigilant property owners accountable for maintaining their properties. Community cleanup initiatives. Organizing regular community cleanup events to remove the litter and improve the overall appearance of our neighborhood. Incentives redevelopment, offering incentives to encourage property owners to invest in the recovery of the blight areas. A couple ideas that the community involves are bringing back an award system for residents to exceptional property maintenance, seasonal decoration competitions, and conclusions. I am committed to addressing these critical issues head on by prioritizing school safety zones, manipulating residential flooding, and tackling the blight in our community. We can make our city a better place for all of us. I believe communication, transparency, and follow through are the most important qualities a council member can have. I would give every effort to make sure that no voice goes unheard. Together we can create a brighter, safer, and more vibrant future for our city. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you about that. Oh, she's gonna be up, yeah. So what I'm gonna go, like I mentioned earlier, I'm gonna go in reverse order, from the time they spoke. So we'll have Margaret stay up there if you don't mind. And for the council members, we'll take 1 or 2 or maximum 3 questions each. For all of us combined, not each one 3 questions. And then from there, for the candidates, do me a favor, again, I'm not have time, you guys, so I'd like you to be free to answer, but keep it within a minute or 2.5 minutes max, please. Otherwise, I'll have my timer guy here get on with it, so. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start with questions from council member. Council Chair? I'm gonna have the same question across the board. Okay. Margaret, you'll be able to answer this one you like. And there is no right or wrong answer on this. My question to you is, what do you believe the role is as city council, woman or member if we're to be appointed? And can you see yourself working alongside the administration and this council body?
Yes, I can. I can see myself. I talk to every single one of you, and I've had different conversations with every one of you. Yeah, I can see myself, and something that's important for a council member to have is to have ears to listen to what the residents of Dayton Heights.
Sorry, that was not giving you. My first part of the question is, what do you believe the role is as a council member?
To listen to the residents.
Okay, perfect. Thank
To
you.
listen to the residents and to hear them out.
Right. First of all, I'd like to thank you for coming tonight, and she brought her own cheerleader for us. I like to encourage people who are younger than myself. There's only one person in the room I think that's older than me, or at least my age. And I really appreciate your concern with blight. Have you got any suggestions for code enforcement on blight?
I live in the South End, and like there's so much blight. Like I take my dog for a daily walk, and I see it every day. What am I trying to think? A solution or something is to have the ordinance officers to go through and do sections a week or sections at a time, so that way they can combat it and it will start showing initiative for them. Now to get the community involved, like I suggested, my grandmother got on a board for her beautiful yard years ago, and that's something that would give people initiative to help.
Thank you.
Thank you, Margaret, for coming, and as a fellow South End resident, we need women on the council, so I'm glad you applied. What do you think about strictly enforcing our rental ordinances, requiring those rental houses to be up to code, to be in the name of the renter and so on?
Yearly inspections would definitely help. I think there's a 5-year one, if I'm not mistaken. 3 years? That's fine. To come in and to do a yearly inspection to make sure that they're following through, that they're coded, that they're keeping up with the property. I have a rental that lives next door. You asked me that question a couple of years ago, I told you a different answer. She's keeping up with her property. She's doing a wonderful job. Better than the guy that bought the house next door to me. But yearly inspections to make sure that it's done properly and kept up with.
Okay, sure. Thank you so much.
My question is going to be the same for all the candidates. It's it's not a long question, but it's, our city council, we're asked to approve, literally millions of dollars worth of, issues that are funding for the city. And, it's no secret that school/traffic safety is a very big concern. The flooding issue is a very, very big thing in our city. Our tree trimming and removal and our ordinance department, or lack of number of officers for our ordinance department to fight blight and rental problem issues. Now, these things affect tens of thousands of people in Dearborn Heights. And recently, the city in the last year invested over $3 million into a golf course. And there might be some more work to be done on the golf course. My answer is a yes or no question to all candidates. Would you approve any funding, any more funding, even a dollar for the golf course until all these other issues are solved in the city?
That's a hard question, Tom. With a yes or no, I can't answer it. To be honest and truthful and transparent, I cannot answer that as a yes or no.
I respect that response.
Because
I do.
I can't, because everything else, our residents, the golf course is always going to be there, right? We're always going to have it. It's already going to have that's something. But our residents and the voices of everybody here and everybody on Zoom, we have traffic issues. These are putting people's lives at risk. I can't answer that honestly.
Well, what I'm asking, basically what I'm asking is, if you put money into something else besides these four major things,
What do the residents want?
for the residents want?
I love you, Tom.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ms. Dana.
Thank you.
All right. Next up. Come on up. Anybody have any questions for former Councilman Nevitt?
So you have a lot of years of, a lot of degrees and a lot of years in planning and so forth. You, were very vocal and helpful with our, tree ordinance and our situation where we had, removal of trees without permits, in certain areas. What do you see as the main issue going forward for the city, in the next year or so?
Well, I wish the city would adopt the tree ordinance and its sleepers. I think the most important thing is most people don't realize, even people running for office, they run for office talking as if they didn't realize the charter of the city of Dearborn Heights is strong mayor, weak council, something similar to Dearborn. Making promises about things they have no control of. Like, who knew that we're going to get people to work on Friday? That's never going to happen because Mayor Coletto made a deal with the unions that if they ever go back to work, they have to get a 30% raise. So all this talk about they're going to go back to Friday. So we need a charter change. We need a charter commission. That's something I would like to be on. I have as a candidate, no intention to run for city council ever again. But if there was ever a vacancy, I'd apply like I'm doing now. But more important, the most important question is, we need a charter commission to fix the problems we have that are administrative. Talking about things we have no control over. It's ridiculous.
And council members will try to keep it no more than 2 questions forward. So, one council member, we more than that, and we'll just, I'll just pick the top first 2 or 3 that
I'll try to be much more. I forgot to mention, I'm also the resident.
And you heard my question, and would you answer me yes or no?
To tell you the truth, in order to answer that question, I don't know what the terms of the agreements were. I'm not a lawyer, but I like to read the agreement to tell me whether it's been followed, or whether they've spent too much, probably, or not enough. So I don't think you can answer that question like that. I know that it's a serious issue. I think we ought to change our name to the City of Parks. No city's got as much parks as we do. And I hope that's the answer.
I'm just asking if you would put money into the ballpark before these other issues were solved.
As I mentioned, I thought it was a smart deal. You couldn't buy the two houses on either side of it for the price we paid for that. So it was a fantastic deal. Whatever $1.5 million, what was that? 1.8 million. What it turned out to be. I'm an opinionated person when you're talking about, but I have no idea whether we spent too much or not enough. Fortunately.
Thank you so much. My question is the same question to everybody. What do you see the role as being a city council member? And can you see yourself working with the administration and this council?
Absolutely, I know what that is. The most important thing that council does is once a year when we look at the budget. And we tear that budget apart by item by item by item. For me, if the item was bigger than the one from the previous year and it was greater than the cost of living, I wanted to know why. And if all of a sudden it was 30% bigger, and I'd say, well, let's keep why is that 30% bigger? Oh, we're buying 15 cars this year. So that's the most important thing we do. Most of what's done here publicly, everybody sees. It's not very enlightening whether you approve the Crestwood High School parade on Saturday. It comes on it should be approved whether you approve it or not. There are silly issues coming before you. The most important thing is the charter and the changes that are required to do what you need to do, and the budget. And that requires getting together an agreement. For example, I think it's very important. Tom Berry said, why $40,000 for ammunition? Why are you spending so much in this community? Well, actually, that's one time I remembered everybody studied that issue and said, no, it's going to be 20,000. That happened very rarely.
We'll take one more question.
Council Chair, first of all, I'd like to thank you for being in the ring. And I like history as well as you. I agree with you about the charter being very low. This is to you, Ned. I'm complimenting you.
I'm sorry.
Okay. I agree with you about the charter and the budget. If you had a choice between the two, which would be your most important priority?
Probably the charter, because the budget goes along pretty much automatically, unfortunately. The charter is much more important. Ask Council Hart, he probably can give you a lecture on it. But I know what we do. Most of it is perfunctory. You want a definition of that word, just figure it out.
Thank you, Ed. Thank you. All right, next up. Okay, so I'll ask one this time. So we'll talk about the big old you. So we've been committed to the council for a long time. You've showed up to many, many meetings. But I also know you're a little bit controversial. That's obviously. That's true. Yeah. So, with that being the case, what do you feel is the role of a council member? Because some would argue controversial, some would argue abrasive, I would argue you're getting a way of getting things done. And I'm serious in this question, not you specific, I'm talking in general as far as personality is concerned. What do you feel is the role of a council member? Because there's a little fine line between working with administration or working against administration, and there's also the role of being checks and balances. You guys took my question back. My question,
You guys make it impossible. Anyway, thank you for the question. It's a great question. First, the role of city council member is to be respectful, to be smart, and have a vision, and understanding what's in front of him or her, which is going to be discussed, and decisions going to be made. And have to put any personal differences or interests outside of the room before you enter, and have to work with people who you agree with or disagree. Because at the end of the day, we take an oath to serve the public and to respect the charter and the Constitution of the State of Michigan. And if you cannot do that with all honesty and truthful, you shouldn't be on the city council. Yes, I am controversial because I say it as it is, and I am very direct with my comments, and I will not tolerate anything that I see is wrong, and I will argue to the end to make sure that either I am right or I am wrong. And if I am wrong, you know me, I apologize always, and I yell for this right for the residents.
Okay, thank you. We'll take two more questions from council members. Councilman Thompson first.
Thank you for applying, and thank you for being here, Mr. O'Hara. In discussing, you mentioned, everybody's talking about a charter revision. What would be the three top items you would like to see changed, revised, added to our city charter? Thank you for the question. If you recall, Councilman Constant, I did put the resolution to create a group of people, 3 council members and 3 from the public, to basically not to review the charter, because the charter, if you need to review it, needs probably vote by the public. But I asked for items to be amended. We need to amend several sections in the charter. The first one, I would like to amend what we call the employees who are part-timers for 6 months.
I'm going to interrupt you for just a second. Just to be fair to everybody, you got to keep the answers as short as possible. Unfortunately, the councilman says the 3 things, so you got to use bullet points, and then council members and the audience can contact whichever candidate and get additional information. So please keep it short.
Basically, I would like to give the city council more power than just look at things. I would like to establish ethics commission, and I would like to basically have more power in the hands of the administration to hire people. Instead of just 6 months, they should be hired on term of 1 year. And if they are proven to be very good people, and with the concession of the unions, those people should be hired.
Okay, we'll take one last question. I'm going to ask one last question. I think I want to ask a question that's,
You can ask about the golf course.
no, I don't want to have that discussion up here with what for. My question to you is, and you know what, and it's going to be personal to you, I know the question that I asked that you respectfully took from me. My question is, since Dave was kind of straightforward, I'm going to be a little straightforward as well. There is, we're going to address the elephant in the room. You're selling yourself, you're very direct, you're very forward, and I respect that, truly do. But also as a role of a council member, you have to, even despite the check and balances, you kind of have to work with the administration. If appointed, can you see yourself being able to put your differences aside and actually working with the administration?
Absolutely. I am a very reasonable person, very open-minded. And if you guys remember, I worked with the late Collector when I was the treasurer, with all transparency and everything he brought in. I did either object because of the reason, or I proved it because it wasn't elected.
There is a simple one question as well. This is your fourth or fifth time being appointed someone to the zoning board, the city
I was
council.
on the chairman of the commission, and the zoning board, and the treasurer, and the city council. And I think, I'm looking forward to be appointed again because I am very good.
Thank you, Mr. Alvarado.
Thank you. Do you have any questions?
No, we're at three.
Yes or no? Thank
Thank you for not responding. I got no question. I got a question to, former councilman, council chair to, Ms. Malinowski. I enjoyed working with you while on council, found you to be honestly a fair person, and, you ran the council well too. There's a little controversy that's been thrown around. Do you select, and I know my opinion, I'm just gonna keep it to myself right now. Do you select a person that's in the elections right now, or do you get somebody completely new? I know what you said, but prove to me why you feel it should be somebody that's already as a part of the elections coming up in November.
My support of Biden says it all. Raising our support is we election to get together. And there's a vacancy, people are good person. So if we can get out, that's just my only thought is to go back to those election results.
I love you saying
And
that.
pick the next person. This election is so tough. I mean, people have changed their mind last 7 weeks. It's obvious where it's going now anyways. I do think the president's husband and said we're replacing him. And I don't see that change.
Thank you. I have a question too. Well, last time, actually, Councilman, I was gonna go ahead and go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. You can go ahead. You want to answer my question?
I was in the restroom, I missed that. Sorry.
Many issues we have in the city, biggest being our school traffic safety, our flooding, our tree removal, our orange department cleaning white. Would you put any more money into the golf course? And I've had a lot of high hopes for this golf course, I still do. No one has been more back into this golf course than keeping it in the city than me. It might not seem that way, some people think a different picture. But before any of these other issues, school safety, or flooding issue, before those are resolved, and we, just say for instance, we had $1 million to spend, would you put that $1 million into the golf course if we needed it, or would you take care of these other main issues that affect tens of thousands of residents?
At this point, I think we've already given an equal amount of money to the golf course, and I don't think they've used it all, so we probably do have enough to accomplish what we're trying, what the goal is. I would give back to the residents. I think the residents deserve it. There's a lot of things that need to be taken care of in our city, and I think that.
Thank you. My last question. I'm gonna ask you the same question that I'm gonna ask, Mr. Alvarado. There's no, we're gonna address the elephant in the room. No secret that there could be some controversy between the administration and the planning here and keeping things running smooth. Can you see yourself working alongside the administration and making things pass by us?
Absolutely. I have worked with the administration that you're speaking of in the past very well. Everybody knows that. I'm not a person of controversy. Is when it comes to city council, it's what's best for the residents.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it. Next up. Well, yeah, Tom's question. So Tom's question, just give me the abbreviated version. You heard it, right? Yeah, you heard that.
Well, first of all, public safety comes first. So the money that is available for public safety first. School safety, those kind of issues, no matter what it is, they'll come first. Secondly, the golf course is still a city-owned property. City-owned property always got to invest back into the property. Yes, money has to be. and it's great. All golf's there,
Remember,
I'm under, it's come a long way. When you say the golf course, the money's going towards the golf course belongs to the city. As for the banquet and all that, I think probably private. But as for the golf course, I would love to see our schools implement golf. So we have golf teams that are invested in the city. We have youth programs. They read about in the summertime working at that golf course. Things that, having initiatives in the summertime, instead of being on the streets and causing trouble, to work at the golf course, to learn golf, having youth golf programs. But we can't have an unsafe golf course. Well, first and foremost, for any amount of money to go anywhere, public safety, children's safety, safety of our residents is number one. That money will always go back to residents is number one.
I've got a question. What attracted you to run for office? I know you've been coming to council meetings for quite a while, and as a lot of you know, I'm pro-activism. I love people who are activists in the community. We put in the time and effort to show up here with nothing else to be entertained by. So you've been coming here for a while, but what attracts you to take on a position as a potential council appointee?
So, being involved in the city in general, there's a lot in the city that goes on that a lot of residents don't see. First and foremost, I want to start with my own property. When I bought a piece of property, the issues I had before this administration, the issues I went with, dealt with, you're involved in most of them. If it happened to me, it can happen anywhere.
Not creating the issues.
No. Solving the issue. But if it happened to me, it can happen to anybody else. But being involved in the city where I visit people's homes and other businesses, I can see in certain areas in the city that everybody deserves to be to me, there's no South End, there's no North End, there's balance. And I don't care if you want $1 million home or you want $50,000. You're still your taxpayer, and you're, to me, an equal bracket. There's less of the divide. But part of the reason when we say we're finding involved is, there's no engagement in the city. There's a divide. There's no engagement. You talk to residents one-on-one, you feel their anger, their frustration, everything. When you come here, it doesn't seem that there's. And honestly, I want to say this: when was the last time a councilman or a councilwoman had a neighborhood group? Went to a neighborhood, not with residents, and said, honestly, no. I mean, that's we do the civic association. I would say just in general. Well, I've seen this a few events, but as in general, the board, certainly a couple of blocks, say, hey, come on, let's have a couple of coffee. Stress and hear their issues. Really nobody. Our flooding issues. Just that, I said the DDA in Westland, but I see all Westland girls with grants and lobbying and stuff. I'm sorry, Westland's not better than us. Baylor is not better than us. No city's better than us. We should be better than any city. And I think the city has so much potential, and I think we get on council can push for that potential, because I'm straightforward. I'm not going to be this way, I'm going to be fair, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to work with everybody to have the residents' best interest.
Okay, thank you, Jay.
All right. That's fine. I see that you also have been involved in real estate, as have 1, 2, 3, 4 people that currently are in the council.
Let me correct you. I'm involved in real estate. I'm not a real estate agent or
rentals. Well, my question to you, I believe you do have rentals.
I do not a city of rentals.
Oh, but elsewhere.
Yes.
Well,
I have 100% track record in every city.
Well, your opinion is still valuable. I'm wondering how you would feel about us instituting a deal where someone who owns 3 properties or more for the looks of the property.
Absolutely. One thing I'm approved for is current initiative for rentals. For example, you own a rental property. You go by, someone's supposed to buy your house, grass is not cut. I should get issued the ticket. Because if I get issued the ticket, I'm going to pay that ticket, I'm going to take action. Because when you hit people with fines and hit them in their pockets, they're going to act where it's not going to happen again. Second, about somebody asked about, I'm going to answer this. I think Mr. Constant asked this question about rental. Rental property should not just be money making the city. If you come in the community, you're supposed to respect it. I agree with inspection reports. I agree with CFOs. If the person does not maintain the property, the landlord should be taken for the landlord. I'm not saying the kind of the landlord, because in that contract, if you just knock a house out just for profit, no contract, no checklist, nothing, just out there for profit, honestly, we don't want you to sit. Because if you're a big landlord and you take care of your properties, these questions should never be asked.
That's my very simple question. Okay, very simple question. Quick question. What do you believe the role of as a city council member? Do you see yourself working alongside the administration of the council?
Absolutely, the role of council member is to serve the public, to work in the best interest of the public, to listen to the public, to engage with the public, to get the public's response to their needs and their wants. That's really been done. We all guys all work with the public. And absolutely, I can work with anybody. Everybody can have different opinions, everybody can have different mindsets, but at the end of the day, it's going to be the best decision for the city's interest. And not the best decision for just tomorrow. It's the best interest for the generations to come. So, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Saab. Next.
Yeah.
The young and honorable Mr. Mahmoud. No, Mr. Obama. Councilor Casper had a question of Ratzel, so I'll let you go first.
Thank you. We talked about, well, thank you for coming. You have been involved in the community. You did run for office, and you worked for the Secretary of State or active in the community. The charter, revisions for the charter.
Yeah.
This is kind of a tough question for you. Maybe it's not really your area, but what do you see going forward? So the balance of power, really between the council and the mayor. What do you think would be the priorities and changes, if any, to the city charter?
You gave me that question. We had long conversations about the charter for the city of Dearborn Heights, and years ago discussed your experience with it or your father's experience with it, and the needs of the city. I think compared to other cities across Michigan, we have a fair balance between the council and the mayor. I don't think that is something we would need to directly change in the charter. I do believe that the charter does need to be opened up. I know it's a discussion we've had for a reason. And I know that it's not something I could do in that 4-month period. No one can, because it does need to go to the residents. But I'd be happy to help enable that process and begin that process, because there are some critical changes that need to happen. Just the basics. Our city needs to be updated. There's a lot of grandfathered clauses that are not up to date with modern Michigan code. And that includes how our properties are handled and how our internal structure for our admin it goes, appointment process and so on.
Thank you. Councilor Leaders. Thank you so much. My question to you is, I know you recently ran for state rep. They're now coming for this appointment for city council. Do you have aspirations seeing yourself running for city council in the near future? Or do you still see yourself maybe potentially running back at the state level? And I only ask that question because I want to know where this position stands.
Like I said, the reason why I ran for office last year was because I was looking for a way to serve in a greater capacity. That's why I'm applying for this position. I don't have intentions to run for office anytime soon. I'm looking to serve, and in whatever way I can.
I think personally you do a great job, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. Did you want to ask me that question you asked a lot?
Yeah, and the question is, I know you wrote it down, I thought I'd ask you. I was like, you want to get a different question.
Didn't bring it up.
My question was that you answered my question.
Thank you,
Chair. All the candidates know my question. If you want to answer.
Answer Councilman Thomas' question regarding to the golf course or the other items. I'll gladly take other questions, but I'll answer this very briefly. I know for a long time the city of Dearborn Heights has operated as a silo, as in most of our funding came from our residents and no real other place. That's changed over the last couple of years. I do grant writing, and it's important to me that we're looking at grants and other opportunities to bring funding in, so we can allocate those resources to all the issues you've mentioned. That being said, I do believe in investing in recreation, and I want to make sure that any funding we do allocate towards that provides the greatest good to the most residents. Two issues and two examples I can think of right now are, I know we're working on getting a splash pad down near the Richard A. Young Center. That'd be something I'd want to invest in. And of course, the Van Buren Park, where I probably got splinters growing up, I need to be putting some funding behind that. That's, being torn down now. So, looking forward to making that a priority on the recreation side.
We'll take the next candidate. Who would that be?
I will wait for you. Okay. All right. I'll ask a question. I know you've worked, with many different, elected officials, and I looked at your resume, pretty good resume, by the way, pretty intense. How do you feel about working on the council? So some would argue, I don't agree with it. I believe, my personal opinion, is local government is probably the most important government, in my personal opinion, but that's me. But how would you feel having worked with, government, at a much higher level, okay? Not as an elected official, but just in different positions with different candidates. How do you feel about working on the city council level, which is more what I would like to call kitchen table conversations or kitchen table issues that maybe at the federal or state level are not as important? How do you think you'd be able to transition from that to this? And I know you're very passionate, so I think
Yeah,
you do that.
no, I agree. Wonderful question. For me, when I worked with, for instance, Congressman Debbie Dingell, I was one of our case members as well, working on IRS issues, individuals that had issues with the IRS, or maybe had, roof that was leaking that they needed help and resources to reach out, what organizations can help them out, or what federal agencies, local state agencies that we could pass them along to. And I think, truthfully, the experience that I've had on federal and state level prepare me for this role because I know all the different state agencies, I know all the different federal agencies. I am able to, tell the resident if they need, if they need a certain issue addressed, then I'm able to pass them along to the agency that could appropriately, provide them with resources. And I think that's really what's like. A lot of residents come very passionate about the issues, but not receiving the answers. And I believe I'm very well equipped to answer some of these questions. And if I don't have the answer, I will let folks know that I truthfully can't answer this question, but I'm willing to listen and find a solution.
Okay. And I understand you have access to a local attorney that can help you out. Thank you. Any other questions? Council Chair? Council?
Thank you, first of all, for applying and for coming, Mr. Alcani. I agree with Councilman Abdullah. You do have a very impressive resume. It's important that you be able to work, a person that can work with everyone, listen to other people's opinion and not be, divisive. Do you feel you can do that on the city council?
And that's really one of the main reasons that I decided for because, not to disparage anybody in particular, but there's, tension. Mo and Dave, did bring up, tension that's happened in the past, not to name or put anybody under the spotlight. And, I see myself as an independent voice. I could work with everybody. I've worked with the different candidates that are running right now in the past, spoken to them about the vision. I've worked with many of you individually in my capacity with Congresswoman Debbie Dingell or Rashida Tlaib. I've been I'm a product of this community, and I don't really see myself creating any tension or wanting to add to that. I want to be able to sit down with everybody and find solutions to problems.
Thank you.
A different opinion is not automatically an enemy. So
Exactly.
So if someone disagrees with me, I'm okay with that, and I disagree with them, I'm okay with that.
Definitely. If I disagree with somebody, it's not saying they're my enemy. I'm the kind of person
You have a different opinion. Possible.
Yes, you have a fantastic resume, and I see you as a mediator. And I'm wondering, what would be your first priority if you were to get on council in a short period of time?
So for this term,
Right.
for this term really is to prep our city to be able to apply to more federal and state level grants. I understand how the appropriations process goes about every year when the city revises its budget and proposes different line items for different communities. When I worked with Congresswoman Dingell, I was one of the individuals that would take these letters of support or write these letters of support to be able to provide support to this municipality, for instance, Dearborn Heights or Livonia or whomever, to be able to seek again funding for certain specific projects, including Dearborn Heights. I believe a few years ago we provided $1.4 million for the design work for the basin that's going to be built on Powers Street. So I'm very familiar with the project that the city has sought in the past, and looking forward to help the city seek more federal funding. Because honestly, that's the way we don't want to add any more tax burden on the residents. So we want to be able to find federal funding to supplement that, so you all don't have to come and yell at the council members because, the fact that
Okay, and then we'll make the last question, Councilman Tom's question. Will I answer that?
Yeah, absolutely. I can say no. I have to answer that. I think the project of the golf course and the trajectory of where it's going is something that we all should be proud of. Right? We want a world-class golf course that people from different areas can come visit and create like a bustling downtown area in that region. That's all what we want. In the past, this county designated a DDA for that area, Downtown District Authority, and we were all very hopeful and wanted to see, more businesses come to that area. And I think this is a start. Would I push for more funding for the golf course? I believe we have enough ample funding at the moment, with the millions of dollars that have been allocated for that project. And I think it's looking beautiful at the moment. I don't think there's need for more funding for that project specifically. But that's why I said I want to be able to seek more federal state funding so we can supplement the project that you brought up, public safety, light, road bumps, speed bumps for reckless driving, and different traffic. Don't term exactly, but for where the school districts are, put the stop signs and whatnot to ensure that our students are safe and protected, safe haven environment. So, short answer and long answer is no. I would not be pushing more for the project because I believe they have the ample funding at the moment. But if that comes up, there's ways for us to plan for private levels.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. O'Connor.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Now we're listening. So I'll start with the questions. Go ahead.
So a quick question, and thank you so much for coming out here. I actually loved the way you spoke, but I'm going to have to also ask the first question. The question is, being on council for almost the last 3.5 years, I don't think I've seen you in the council chamber once. And I only asked that question, where does the aspiration come from? You said, and then maybe it was, you simply went online and you saw the vacancy and said, you know what, maybe I do like this.
Yeah, no, actually, it's a great question, and no, I have not attended city council meetings. But what has, sparked my interest is recently I purchased a puppy. And as I'm out walking the puppy in my neighborhood, I'm looking around and I'm realizing that the South End of Dearborn Heights is not what it was. And to go to the park where I walk my dog, there's broken glass everywhere. There's cigarette butts everywhere. There's marijuana butts everywhere. How can you take your child to this park to play? And there are parents there all the time, right, with their kids. And it concerns me. So it's like, as I'm walking and I'm seeing things, I now take a bag with me to pick up the glass, to pick up the cigarette butts. And it's not right to, let this happen and think that it's okay to put our kids there and they're safe. They are not safe. So that's what has sparked my interest. We need to have some change. We need to have some responsibility. We need to have people in place that could, that could get maybe, some days together to gather some people to go and do a park cleanup, a city cleanup, something.
That was a great reply. I just want to spark your interest.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Okay. Thank you. Roxanne, when I first received your letter of intent and resume, I played based on my concept background, just where I was impressed. For somebody to take the time to put a very nice letter together, a very nice resume, I was impressed. And then, initially, you guys have made my job very difficult, by the way, because I'm being bluntly direct and transparent. Initially, I thought, I don't know what she's, I don't know much about it. Then I realized, okay. You came and spoke, and I was honestly really impressed. So even if nothing else, I hope you can your brother in the future.
Thank you.
I did like your positive attitude and your spunk and your commitment. I did like that. But I also have on the same token a little bit of concern in that because it's really, I don't know the exact count off the top of my head. The clerk maybe can better tell us, but I think only like 5 more official council meetings that are left, maybe 6, obviously at most. And so with lesser experience, but I do like your background.
Yes.
I can add that on.
Yes.
How do you feel you'll be able to still serve the residents versus somebody that is maybe more experienced?
Sure, absolutely.
And when I say more experience, I'm not talking about just in terms of in an office, but maybe just activism at the very minimum.
I didn't get to where I am in my life of being an underdog, right? So I had to crawl my way up. And again, there are some great candidates here that have tons of experience. And as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking to myself, what am I doing? Right? Truly. But you know what? What I am is I am enthusiastic. I am dependable. I am a quick learner. And I think that I can bring a different perspective to the council.
Okay. I think you're also amazing. You do a great job of finding.
Thank you.
You got the future in something around here. No, fair enough. You don't need to come.
Thank you, Council Chair. I agree with the other council members. Your resume is very impressive and you work in the eyeglass industry. I have a good friend who's a optometrist and has a small business.
Okay.
It's a increasingly competitive business. What would you like to see done to help small businesses that are opening up and growing in Dearborn Heights? For example, food trucks. We've recently enacted and streamlined the process for someone who owns a food truck to be able to do business during, like, for example, Ramadan and other times. What would you like to see the fees remain the same? Would you like to see one central office, help on the website? Anything that you can suggest?
Sure, great question. Regarding, small businesses in, the Dearborn Heights area. Again, as I look around and I'm driving down Van Born, right, I'm looking at all of the empty business spaces. Those were filled 10 years ago. But what has happened? You have an area where it doesn't get a lot of recognition. It doesn't have a lot of money. So I think what we need to do is we need to promote the area, promote these small businesses. Maybe, when we do grand openings and, we try to get the word out even more. But the key thing is to keep people coming back, reinvesting, and we have to figure out a way to do that. And if I can help, I will. I'm an advocate. I promote small businesses. Again, I'm a small business, a single position, practice. And it's tough. You've got competing businesses. So it's like you have to lower your prices. You have to be competitive. So I think that we just need to do a better job promoting, people coming into the city for small businesses.
Okay. Thank you. The 3 questions, but just a yes or no only for Councilman Thomas.
Of course, okay.
I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, no, so simply put, I'm going to say no. I think it's a fabulous golf course. I think it's going to do what it's intended to do, but we need to focus on the city and getting, kids and parks and everything up to speed.
Okay, thank you. Let's start with Councilman Tom Wenzel.
How are you? Very well, thank you. Because I live in Greer, we live in a democracy. This panel is elected on the ballot person, all the council. Regardless what's happening with the second businesses operating on, we don't want to get into that. But who am I to judge you guys? You guys decided on this, all of you. Whether you voted for it or you didn't vote for it, I remember you voted for it. So as an allocation of funds, the funds should be allocated where it's needed to be. You guys decide what the fund is to be, because your only job is to serve the public. So you know where the funds needs to be. If I get the chance to be on there, then I'll be part of that team. It will be team effort decision that's going to be made. So to answer your question, at this time,
I don't know if any funds needed for the golf course, because I'm not a politician. I didn't study everything that you guys went through. So that is my answer. Thanks.
And just for full disclosure, I just wanted to bring that up. There has been no additional requests for funding for the golf course, so just to make it transparent.
I don't know.
There's not been any.
I'll vouch for that.
Councilman's got a very good question, it's just a hypothetical. It's a good question, but there's been no requests. Okay.
This is the date to the golf course, this is the 250 acres site itself. Right, that's what.
Thanks, Councilwoman.
Okay, I'm going to ask you the same question, Mr. Burlock, that I asked Mr. Saab. I know you have rental homes. How do you feel about enforcing regulations that make the landlord responsible when blight is a situation for more than 3 properties?
Okay, I'm so proud to have owned rental homes in the city of Dearborn Heights since 2008. Economy crashed. I was very fortunate to get into this line of work. And what we've done with the building department over the years, we've taken all these properties that they run down, and we have these properties, put good families in them, brought some families into the city. We brought professionals, nurses, doctors, lawyers. I have tenants from all over the cities they came here. So I'm so proud to have done that. Now there's a system in place that the building department, and this is my profession. I've been doing this so long. I'm a real estate professional. I'm licensed. So there's a system in place with the building department that every 3 years a rental property needs to be inspected, unless the tenant moves out. If the tenant moves in today, he moves out next week, it has to be inspected, and be certified. And that's what I've been doing all these years, 25 years. So your question was what? Do they need to be inspected? They are inspected.
No, the fact that would you be in favor of there being a regulation made that people who own more than 3 rental areas be responsible, especially for the blight aspect of the property?
So you'd be responsible versus.
If the landlord's not mowing and it's just respecting the whole neighborhood.
It is unfortunate that just like I run with the city, and my city attorney knows about that, myself, as there's a system that needs to be implemented, and I've worked on that with the ordinance department over 10 years ago. Until now, they haven't done that. There has to be an electronic notification system that notifies the landlord immediately as soon as the violation is there. They have tablets. They have everything. They have our email addresses. 7740, that address that we have in question in Mr. Attorney. All we have to do is just, the ordinance guy, press the button, I get a notification, your property is in violation. I get on it. To answer your question, no, if I have 1 or 2 or 10 or 70 properties, in this case, doesn't make a difference. 1 or 3 properties don't make a difference. There have to be a system in place. And I work on that, and I'll try to advocate for that.
I appreciate that. In fact, David, I don't know if anybody knows, but he had to come in all the way from New Orleans.
Yeah, Nadia has the surgery, and I have to go back in the morning, so.
If we could just take a quick 10 seconds prayers to this part. Thank you. Wish you the best of health. Councilman Beatles next.
Thank you so much. I want, speed recovery, your wife, I think you're doing okay. Safe travel back to our.
Sorry, it's supposed to be Ollie reading your son. That's who's speaking. That's all he is. He went away. I'll see you later. I'll have just a little review. Go ahead and ask your question. Ollie B. Oh, got a little step back.
Mr. Butler, and you have expressed to me that there has been some maybe back and forth from the administration and yourself. Do you see yourself being appointed to the seat? Do you think that you can be able to work alongside the administration with this?
Mr. President, as you know, I ran my campaign honest integrity. And just to bridge the gap between the city council and the administration, I didn't ask for endorsement from the mayor's office. You know that. I didn't ask for anybody. All the police department. I worked with all of you in the past. And you know what I do. So, I see myself working with the administration, not because I agree with what they're doing, simply with the we live in a democracy. We have to agree to disagree and disagree to agree. This is how it is. Okay? So, I'd like to bring peace and reason. Thank you for that response. And I appreciate your response. Thank you.
And I think there are about three, so is there 3 questions to you already?
Can I fly?
Okay.
Good.
Good, okay, thank you very much. Okay, come on up.
Long time to sit in the chair.
Don't get involved. So, I want to ask a question. So, Rachel, like some other candidates, you are, needless to say, you on the controversial side. But in a way that I kind of vote, because I like people that will ask a question that maybe is not popular. I like people that will sometimes ask a question that maybe might sometimes upset somebody. I just want to add one thing to the conjecture that I don't think the council or myself in any way, shape, or form using the word controversial. We don't mean it. Yeah, it's more of just. Yeah, there's an element of the room, we're adjusting the
I know, yeah.
When I say controversial, it's controversial means some people don't like it, some people don't like it. And I don't know, the way I operate, I say what I feel. I know sometimes people don't like it, and say I'm okay with that, because I'm just saying how I feel. Yeah. So I'm okay with that. But at the same token, like some other candidates, this might become possibly a challenging situation, because with such a short time period, you may not have enough time to be able to work some of the kinks out between yourself and maybe some others that you might be trying to work with. With that being the case, what's your strategy to be able to do this in 5 or 6 meetings?
Well, I think that's the key, right? It's only 5 or 6 meetings. And, you know, we can do anything if we put our minds to it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm somebody that tries hard to work with people. I can't always control what they may do or say or anything like that. I can only control myself, right? And I am approaching this from a place of doing the best job that I can and doing the best that I can to work with everybody. And approach it with professionalism. If I come to the table and somebody's not willing to meet me, that is what it is. And that would mean that I would need to figure out other ways to get the job done. I think there are ways to work with people that you don't agree with, but sometimes you have to figure it out another way. But it is only 5 or 6 meetings. So honestly, I don't foresee a lot of challenges in terms of having to work like on a big project or something like that. There's just not enough time for that. I think it's really just going to be about all of us being the adults in the room and working together, no matter who it is, right? And kind of being a good example for our kids. And that's what I always try to do.
Well, I've always respected that you've been very involved and very active, as I've respected a lot of people have been active in the community, showing up to the council meetings. And again, sometimes you didn't agree, and that's okay. I have no problem with you disagreeing with me or agreeing with me. But I've always valued your activism, so thank you. Any other questions, Councilman?
Just want to thank you for applying. Want to remind everyone that you did run, that you were close, you were the next highest vote getter. Great presentation. What would be your priority? Let's say we decide that form a subcommittee for revising the charter, and you're on the subcommittee. What changes do you see? Not specifically, but like in the balance of city government that you think would be a good improvement going forward?
Well, I think that the limits of a committee kind of limit my answers there, because a lot of the changes in terms of balance of power, I think, require a full charter, right? I don't necessarily think we could address that specific issue through an amendment to the charter. If there were, regarding balance of power in the charter, I think some of it might just be clarifying and detailing the responsibilities of council. I reviewed it to prepare for this whole process, and it's almost hard to figure out if you just read the charter what exactly council does. There's the stuff about the budget. It's not like super detailed, like a list or anything. Like a lot of the mayor's responsibilities are pretty clearly outlined. So if that was something that could be addressed through an amendment, that might be something I would want to work on. I think in general with the charter, I would be interested in looking at something, so you mentioned the ethics element of it, the anti-nepotism section of the charter, some of those areas to kind of maybe get that a little updated and make it clear what is and isn't ethical behavior. I know that's something that gets talked about a lot in my community. And it's something that ethics was my favorite class in college, so that wasn't like part of my major. So it's just, kind of passion sort of.
Council Chair. Thank you. I don't even really have a question for Mrs. LaPointe, but I just want to thank you for your service. If you know anything about Rachel, she's going to message you, DM you on Facebook on every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday about what's happening in the packet. She's looking at young up, go ahead.
I'm a little bit of a young Ray Muscat. He's from my
Yeah.
Or Hermione.
The difference is you will call me. But really, I thank you for your services, and I know you really do your homework and really look through that packet, like you really dig deep. So I think it's important that, you shed some light on that for you as well. Thank you, Rachel.
And then to your past question, that is what I see the role of council being. It's to look at those packets, because that's your meeting. You want to know that.
Yes.
So I mean,
I'm asking that question, I'm waiting for the right answer. But for the answer that instead of
that you have,
I'm thinking.
I mean, that would be a big thing, is to know what you're voting, right?
Yes.
And then to listen to the residents and communicate.
And let's keep the young gentleman down there, and let's turn over to his question.
Mr. Bunsen, you're not going to like my answer. I know that contract. We're contractually obligated to fix the parking lot, and that has not yet been budgeted. So if that were to come before council for a budget amendment, because it's not in the budget this year, I believe that I would have a duty to go for it because it is part of the contract. That being said, in an ideal world, there's so many other priorities that I would put probably above that, but that parking lot's also a mess, so I wouldn't be opposed to fixing that either. I think there's a lot more things that we got to work on. So it really depends, would be my answer.
Thank you.
And last, but definitely not least, Superintendent.
Hey, I know all the answers. So thank you.
You got the same answer, the same question that he might ask Rachel that I asked him, he's gonna ask you. You knew that. So Sue, I know you served on the school board for a long time, and I believe you did a very good job. As a matter of fact, I'll transparently say when I walked into the voting booth, you had my vote.
Thank you.
And I think you're a very smart person that is very passionate about Dearborn Heights. In the same token, I know the public, you've not been too in favor of some decisions that have been made at the city. And I know you've had your opinion or con on the police department. And of course, administration and police chief, et cetera, have had different opinions. How do you plan on working with the administration? You haven't had this history, obviously, in the past. And just as importantly, how do you feel you'll be able to, because it's a two-part question, you'll be able to improve? You already had concerns and questions about the police department. How do you feel as a council member, in just 5 short meetings, you'll be able to bring forth some improvements to our great, I want to make it transparent, but we have a great police department, but make it even better.
So thank you for that question. And yes, I think I can work with administration. I've been up here talking many a times, and you've never seen me be disrespectful to anybody.
No.
I don't do that, and I would not. So I think I can work with anybody in any situation. I would like the opportunity just to share my opinion and to be heard. And I think that is what, as a council member, your duty is. So I'm going to tie into Mo's question a little bit too. You're here representing the people, and you're We can't have 65,000 people up here because if you think these meetings get a little out of hand, imagine what it would be like. So you're representing everybody, and I've been in that role as a school board member. I've been through some pretty volatile situations on the school board, and I'd like to think that I was always the voice of reason, and I tried to facilitate everyone to collaborate and work together effectively. We don't have to be best friends. I don't have to go out to dinner with you. I have a lot of great friends.
Like that.
And my job would be to represent the citizens of the city and to work with administration and all of you together. And if you can't put yourself in that spot to work together, then you don't belong up here putting in for the job.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next question, next council member.
Hi,
Council Chair, thank you for applying.
thanks,
Great
Mom.
presentation. I like your, we do need another female on the council, so that for you to speak up. Same question though about what would you like to see structurally, if anything, change regarding the, one thing we could do, some councils, they have a consent agenda. They go over the agenda beforehand, and then everything that is not controversial, they pass at the beginning. Sure, anything that you can think of that you've been through, school board meetings, you would like to see change?
So I do like the consent agenda. I do like going over the topics at the study session so that when you get to the meeting, you're working as a collaborative group, like a bunch of spokes on the wheel, and you're working together and not against each other. So no surprises at the meeting, so that you're planned, you know what you're going to say, you know how you feel about it. And that doesn't mean you have to agree on every single topic, because you wouldn't be doing your job if you did. But it means being able to discuss what you don't agree about in the study session so that you can get your idea out, and then as a group, you can come up with a unified, hopefully, approach.
Thank you. Next council member, for question?
So Tanya, you asked it in two different ways. So my first impulse would be to say the golf course has gotten enough money, and that we don't need to give any more because we have other priorities. However, if not giving some money to the golf course, something came up and there was something that we had to do to move forward, would I want to negate the money that we've already put into the golf course and stop it from continuing to run? No. Do I want to give them an open checkbook to say, hey, don't do whatever? No. Because there are things like the child safety and the school zones and those things that need to take a priority. The rental houses, the inspections. So I'm answering it two ways. Initially, I would want to say no. They have enough money to work and do what they want to do and to get it successful. However, the unforeseen always comes up, and I would never want to stop the progression of that golf course touring because we've invested a lot of money.
Okay. Thank you. Yep. Okay.
All right. Thank you,
very much.
everybody.
Appreciate it.
Ice cream at Rose. Are you
Free gold.
Maybe it's
Yes.
Lastly, probably not, but, I want to thank all the candidates. I know what it's like to be up there. In 1995, I was in your same spot. I was going for a vacancy. And then I ran on the ballot in 1997 and barely lost the election by a few hundred votes. I waited 20 years on it yet. But I know what it's like to be up there. It's not a joyride. And all of you that are candidates have very impressive resumes and all had some really good answers. And I thank you all.
I was just add up that some of the time I didn't wait 20 years ago. Once, I was at a standstill meeting over here. And, Matt cannot finally get the side folks there. So man was, whoa, so here. But, you know, I know how it is, and I know how it is to just be there and interviewing, and, you know, just having the butterflies the day before, you know, the appointment. Believe it or not, I think what we had is we're eight of them, we had 8 meetings where by the time it was December, there was no point in bringing them song.
Yeah.
But really, I know how it is, and I wish you all the best of luck. This is gonna be a really, really tough decision. I thought I had my mindset, but, you know, definitely got swung and had to make some phone calls. And it's okay. Go ahead, this is,
I just want to ask,
so there's nothing written as far as how you make a decision. Each council member is just gonna have their own, ways. They may talk amongst each other, following the Open Meetings Act, obviously. They may talk with the candidates, or candidates may contact them, or residents may be called, or vice versa. So there's no set rule for this. At the end of the day, ultimately, it's just up to each council member as far as how they vote. I played for myself. I'm looking forward to this because I thought this would be an easy way for me. Because honestly, there's a lot of good candidates. I went through all yeah, so I was first of all excited, like Charles Hutch said, that so many people are applying for these positions because, you know, it's great to have many people want to do public service to this great city and country that we love. So that I was very impressed with. I'm also very impressed with the fact that we have 12 candidates here, which tells me that in the future, we have, whether some of you make it on this particular one or not, in the future, we have good potential council candidates. So I'm happy with that, having to step out as an old man that actually will be in, you know, God wishing in good hands. So what I am disappointed in, having been here, I thought this was going to make my job a lot easier. I'm going to use the process of elimination, and people are going to go up there and just totally bomb, and then it'll make it a little bit easier for me to make a decision. But I got to tell you, all of you guys, and I'm not just saying that, really, honestly and truly, all of you guys did great. So this is going to be very difficult, but I do thank you for putting your name out there. It was not easy to be criticized and clap for and boo for, et cetera, but I thank you, yelled at, but I thank you for putting your names forward. While I'm doing this, I'm going to give an extra total of 5 minutes for total public comments, not 5 minutes each, total public comments, just in case somebody in the public wants to ask a question about the one that came in.
well, I have a comment also that the gentleman has said, and in reference to what Noel and Zuber were talking about. Myself and a gentleman from Tulane in 1920 wanted that vacancy as well. I'm sorry, 2020. The two were going to be in the mainstream, but I ran the next year and I made it. So I want to encourage you all, if you don't get this, please consider running in the future in November of 2025.
Okay, so I have a comment if you'll allow me to say. Well, if you get up, if anybody wants to comment, even the candidate says, just a resident, that's fine. But I'm going to take a total of 5, 6, 7 minutes. 5, 6, or 7. No, not each person. Total for 5. So please keep your comments to a minute and a half.
Oh, we're in trouble. Put the Parks and Rec.
The reason Hassan Basri would show up was because of this started.
Oh, no.
I stand with that. Condolences to the family. Thank you, Basri.
That's condolences. Absolutely. We'll do a moment of silence for the doctor, Mr. Soul. Thank you. Any other residents that would like to get up, either comment or ask a quick, and then the candidates would have to give a quick answer. I'm going to have a total of 7 minutes. I'm just because I'm staying on the rule of always had, which is giving people the opportunity to do something. She doesn't want to get up unless we're forced to answer a question about, you know, about trees. Let's just ask a question. It's got to be from here because it's, yeah. Go ahead, answer your question. Could you ask me this question 2 years ago?
We've been working on Angela to try to get out of her box and be a little more transparent.
What's the question you want me to ask more about this research?
Yeah.
Danny.
I know.
We're working on it. We're trying to come up with a new, resolution.
Any questions about blood and cleaning up in the streets and trash and glass like Roxanne was talking about while walking the dog? I know you walk your dog everywhere.
I walk my dog everywhere. In fact, since the middle of August, go take a look at Beach Daily. From Kennedy all the way to the soccer entrance, I have cleaned it. I cut the lawn this past week, so I went out Sunday, cleared all the grass off. It's been shoveled. There's actually a patch.
Just want to recognize Commissioner Kinesic one day received a phone call from Angela, and it was like 102 degrees.
And he went out.
And he went out there, he cut up with his own lawnmower, shirtless.
Off of Beach Daily at Fort Lamar, I picked up over 8 bags of trash and just all kinds of stuff.
So Angela took it upon herself to go out there on Friday.
You're an example to the community, so thank you.
One of the kids, I mean, nobody realizes, and I know it's a Wayne County law, but nobody realizes that is the only path the kids from Riverside have to walk from subdivision to subdivision. And I don't understand why nobody's taking the responsibility for our kids. And it's the only path even to get to the park that I ride my bike on and I have a bike rider. And that's not the only place. I came up here 5 years ago with a board, and everybody kind of looked at me and thought, who is this lady? And the sidewalk on Long Avenue still isn't fixed. It's impassable. My husband and I picked up a lady out of a wheelchair from the ground, and that sidewalk still looks the same. I just don't understand why there's not more hands on the push. And it all starts with also residents. I pick up bags of trash on my block every day, garbage cans. And I don't understand how people can walk in and out of their homes every day and have the same garbage sitting on the lawn, and they don't care. You live in this community, respect it. This is for your kids. This is our future. I don't understand it.
Thank you. Or anybody in the audience that would like to,
Gentlemen, it's a non-participant.
Or non-candidates?
Oh, is it really?
okay, nobody in the audience, I don't see anybody on Zoom that has a question or a comment? I don't see anybody, do you? All right, meeting adjourned. Meeting adjourned. Thank you very much.
I learned so much today, I feel like. Okay, and